Hello, everyone. It's been a really eventful morning. Every time I've gotten ready so far to do a video, I've been in the middle of a video, which is twice now. I've got the terrible bout of the hiccups. So I found this document going through, and it looks like, until I can get some more interviews, which I should have an interview next week. The dude was, unfortunately, he's got a kid and he's a TI, and so he don't have any free time right now, but hopefully we're going to get it till next week. But there's not many people coming up to give their stories, and I'm not sure why. I don't know if the email's hacked or whatever, but I used to do information videos before I even did interviews, so it looks like I'll be back doing that until we can get interviews lined up. Um, I gotta talk to somebody Friday, might have an interview with him. Um, there's also a young targeted individual, 18 years old, who says that he's in a new generation targeting and wants to talk to young folks. So I'm trying to schedule a call with him to see, if it's something I would like to put on my channel. So anyway, a lot going on, here and there and everywhere. And so today I found this document and I'm going to read it. It's about the biofield. So here we go. Okay, here we go. And this says, what do you need to believe? God's real. God created you and imprinted his signature into your DNA. The biofilm was stolen by the powers that be, but is actually DNA generated body part known previously as the aura. The biofilm is responsible for the homeostasis of the body, electrical and immune functions, and it emanates as biophotons from the bone marrow, small intestines, and other areas and propagates outward on the waveform of our DNA. The biofield is not a New Age concept or woo-woo, but is a sophisticated system in place for 6,000 years. DARPA's BRAIN initiative is the backbone of the digital ID built from the National Security Agency. NSA's monitor neuromodulation through cognitive technology. Companies like your insurance provider can log into your body using the telemetry of your aurora or biofield based on your veins, arteries, chakras, meridians, and nodal points. Welcome to Remote Control Humans. If you're not scared enough already, the Institute of Electronics and Electrical Engineers has humans on the Internet of Bodies and Behaviors, biosensors, quantum steering, biophotonics, etc. Standards for measuring the electrical map of the body's homeostasis and preparation for morphology, transhumanism, living libraries, digital twins, Havana syndrome, which is a hoax. Well, not a hoax, but was all a hype when really it's been going on for years. I mean, it happens to diplomats. Now they want to say something. Welcome to your body area network, and it derives YWAN, rural radio, metro, MAN, computer, CAN, local, LAN, and personal, PAN, and the nano network. Welcome to wireless tissue engineering and total piezoelectric control of your body. They can access your body wide open when your body's wide. Frighteningly, it's shown that access to your body is wide open with no security protocols to anybody with Zigbee, Bluetooth applications, or GitHub software, or $45,000 to purchase a remote to your body. Most horrifying of all, a cornerstone of the fourth industrial revolution is biological convergence or hybrid/cyborgs. You won't be able to tell if these people are purely human or merged at a molecular level with artificial tissues. So your body is the best antenna, the electronic signal routing system, and the weapon too. Microchips are no longer necessary for the synthetic biology at the nanoscale with biometric systems. Welcome to your worst nightmare walking around, and they could be right next to you. Where is the electronic warfare and transhumanism being deployed? America, specifically the military industrial complex, through DARPA, is experimenting with super soldiers, augmentation, surveillance, target individuals, real ID, digital twins of each person on Earth, the Internet of Bodies, etc. China was the testing ground for many of the experiments. From America, the electronic manipulations deployed worldwide. In fact, it was rolled out to China in the 1990s. Since the United Nations is used as primary implementation of the New World Order, it's safe to assume EW is available to all member nations. Department of Defense has already defined the global information grid architecture with specific feeder grids, kill boxes, smart cities built in by perfurbation of the air molecules around each head and biosensors in the biofield. Under Pentagon Directive 3000.09 updated in 2023, and I have looked this up. The military is autonomous and declares positive outcomes are not necessary. Welcome to kill boxes and feeder grids with AI deciding your life or death. When did all this happen? The 6,000-year-old death cults controlled Earth since the time of the Anunnaki, approximately every 300 to 500 years. These demons allowed to feed, which is followed by a period of reset. During this reset, humanity has amnesia and experiences a period in renaissance and growth after the culling is complete. Dark Ages, Spanish Inquisition, Salem witch trials, etc. We're due for another feed or reset around 2030. However, the controller sped up the timeline using that we can't talk about, which is its own ILTW band. Look at all the disclosure of future technologies in movies, television, video games, etc. And this came from Sabrina Wallace. She wrote some of this stuff she wrote. She feels we will see a die-off of humanity in late 2023-24 with airships for the brain imaging library in 25. In 2026, she thinks they'll come from the remnant. And in her note, she's saying, see, this is where Sabrina kind of loses me. She says Archangel Michael arrives in 2027 in her precognition notes and visions. Now, I hope that's true, but if not, it's not. See, and that, I like Sabrina's work and stuff. I just get confused on some of the stuff when she gets outside the box a little. But, um, you know, I believe Archangel Michael could appear. Let's see, 1660s, 300-year plan developed to dock this is a timeline before it goes into information about more about what they're doing to us. Let's see, 1660s, a 300-year plan developed to dock the 4D with Fermat discovery of Langland, quantum encryption, L function, considered Rosetta Stone of math. Late 1880s, nanotechnology invented. 1903, neuromorphic chipset purchased by banks, hybrids to disembodied spirits. 1922 to 24, humans connected via telephony. 1953, Predator MQ Reaper. 1954, Gravity mastered per Stephen Greer via 750 plus whistleblowers over 30 years. 1956, biosensors developed. 1960s, Langland's equation, 300 years old, given as the basics of cryptographic protocol, security, and cubic equation. 1968, RFID chipping of humans rolled out via medical implant. Sorry about that. Medical implant communication systems, ARPANET. 1969, Project Salus brings AI, heads-up display, and quantum research. 1972, heart attack gun, pure Library of Congress. The Iceman also had a heart attack gun back in the day. He had this dude who drove an ice cream truck and was a serial killer. Show him how to get cyanide. So he would come and he would have cyanide in a spray bottle, and he would just spray somebody in the club with cyanide and keep walking. They'd have a heart attack a few minutes later. Well, they didn't have a way to determine if he died from being sprayed or not back then. Now they do. All right, 1975, Alzheimer's Conference on Recombinant DNA, decision made to all synthetic biology. 1976, Biologic Toxin Army Research at Proving Ground, UT Edward Arsenal, MD, and FD, Fort Detrick, Maryland. Looking for my hat. I can't wear it all the time because it's so hot and I sweat so much, but I try to wear as much as I can. Faraday hat. Quantum computing companies, signature reduction, force, white vans given vocations with benefits, local logistics gets into N3. 1990s, N3 library access via NIST or NASA. Brain to brain is given to people inside Congress. Non-invasive neuron exchange. 1993, Greer as a private contractor studying UFO phenomena and exotic technology, whistleblower testimony, etc. 1994, Rwanda neuromodulation. 1995, wide body area network online. 1999, synthetic telepathy via WordPress on back end. 2002, Mac Internet routing for network engineering. 2005, 802.15.4 biosensors made of analyte, DNA, RNA, and peptides with logins via NASA corporations, vendors, and companies. 2005, target individuals in Havana syndrome possible with 2.4 T8 terahertz, 802.15.4, and 5.5 W band. 2007, NIST defines biophotonic tools and cell and tissue diagnostics. 2007, digital twin in the global information grid. 2008, synthetic biology rollout. 2009, kill box defined. 2012, open shortest path first. 2012, MRI leaves the hospital. DARPA free to watch us. 2013, biosensors embedded. IEE defines ban. 2013, targeted individuals. 2013, wireless drugging of our seniors, pure FACC via nano antennas. Brain to brain interface commercially available. $45,000 and you can remote control someone, is what they said in 2014. 2014, segment sensor networks by organs, mesh routing cap map with industrial, scientific, medical, RF bands using human body connectors. 2015, that's when my V2K, I was in Jade Helm exercise in Springfield, Missouri. I'm convinced. They drove me crazy that day, mind controlled me, had me walking lines. Um, just weird stuff happened. I need to tell you about that day and do a whole video. Remind me, please, somebody remind me to do a video on the Jade Helm Day and what they did to me during that program in 2015. 2016, information teleported on chips. OpenAI, Microsoft, OpenAI, nano slaughter bots controlled via AI. 2017, graphene cyber physical backbone, Black Awakening. 2017, Internet of Things Online, smartphone, equal barometer, gyroscope, accelerometer, magnometer, proximity, light sensor, GPS, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GSM, CDMA, cell, near field communication, cameras and touchscreen. 2018, we the people get connected to the cloud. 2020, that what we're not supposed to talk about, gets its own data center. 2021, Amazon Shipping Services given mesh hybridized networking ability. 2022, UN Digital ID. 2023, Internet of Behavior comes online. From Soul Catcher PDF, 1996. Advertisement for Soul Catcher implant chip, which, as the personal computer world explains, will be implanted behind a person's eye and will record all thoughts and experiences of their lifetime. This is the end of death. By combining this information with a record of the person's genes, we could recreate a person physically, emotionally, and spiritually. September 23rd, 1998, Professor, I'm getting in the information. I'm just doing this timeline first. Professor Kevin Warwick becomes the first known human to communicate with machines via microchip implanted in his body. Afterward, he admitted, it does make me feel that Orwell was probably right about Big Brother issue. October 15th, 1998, the BBC reports on bionic brain implants developed by American scientists. Over several months, the implant becomes naturally wired into the patient's brains as neurons grow into the cones and attach themselves into the electrodes mounted inside the report sets. September 5th, 2001, ABC's new journalist Nicholas Reckes warns that mind control could be on the horizon. On the bright side, the powers of this science could be used to mend broken and diseased brains, he said. On the dark side, there would be plenty of opportunity to tinker with consciousness and control human behavior in menacing fashion. In May 1st, 2002, an ABC reporter entitled Scientists Developed Remote Control Rats describes a DARPA project wherein rats each wired with three hair-fine electro probes to the brain are directed through remote control by an operator typing commands on a computer. Sound familiar? May 10th, 2002, a family has microchips inserted into their body on national TV to acclimate the public to the idea. August 15th, 2002, during the height of the summer of abducted children, the Philadelphia Inquirer runs a front page story on the new high-tech approach to child security, the chipping of children. March 7, 2003, an article in the Kansas City Star features University of Kansas professor Jerome Dobson, a respected leader in the field of geographic information technologies, warning GPS technology may lead to a form of geo-slavery, which could make George Orwell's Big Brother nightmare look amateurish. March 12, 2003, the BBC runs an article entitled Scientists Develop Brain Chip, which states U.S. scientists say a silicone chip could be used to replace the hippocampus where the storage of memories is coordinated. The testing, beginning on rats and rapidly proceeding to monkeys, will ultimately be conducted on humans. In 2003, June, a few months, researchers at the University of Southern California will test the world's first prosthetic brain part. Popular Science Research creating Theodore Berger with creating a 2 millimeter wide silicone chip he hopes one day will be substituted for damaged or diseased brain regions. Potential military uses for the brain chip, which is partially funded by DARPA, includes building sophisticated electronics and integrating them into human brains, possibly one day lead to cyborg soldiers and robotic servants. June 2003, an article published on DARPA's website, Alan Rudolph explains how the agency's brain machine interface program will create new technologies for augmenting human performance. April 14th, Associated Press blasts the headlines FDA approved brain implant devices, citing benefits with physical impairment and brain disease. Scientist Richard Anderson notes that surgeons are already implanting devices in the human brain, sometimes deeply, to treat deafness and Parkinson's disease, and says, I think there's a consensus among many researchers that the time's the right to begin trials in humans. Time magazine covers 1971, The New Genetics, Man and the Superman, 1977, The DNA Furrier, Tinkering with Life, 1984, Shaping Life in the Lab, The Boom in Genetic Engineering, 1994, Genetics is the Future Now, 1999, The Future of Medicine, How Genetic Engineering Will Charge Us in the Next Century, 2015, The Gene Machine, What the CRISPR Experiments Mean for Humanity, 2018, Progress and Controversy, Genetic Engineering sections on gene therapy. It's been in our faces for decades in every waiting room and grocery store checkout line across America. We just failed to notice. The CIA Director Gus Hunt in 2013 stated, You're already a walking sensor platform. He noted that mobile, smartphone, iPads come with cameras, accelerometers, light detectors, and geolocation capabilities. Hunt also said it's very, very near, really very near our grasp to be able to compute on all human generated information. Why would our government do this to us? Besides the age old primary motivators of man, power, control, and wealth, the people that control the world tend to be evil. You know what? The controllers want to create new gods, an upgraded human hybrid cyborg. The NWO was agreed upon in character under the guise of the League of Nations after World War I. It morphed into UN after World War II, and President JFK signed the Freedom from War Treaty that calls the White Helmet Global Policekeeping Force with the goal of global disarmament. And this NWO is also propelling us towards open borders, digital currency, and digital real ID. Global population stands around 8 billion, which is taxing the resources and the homeostasis of the earth. Huge population expansion means more people vying for limited computer power. The 13 controlling bloodlines, Club of Rome, Tavistock, Council 300 controllers have either found Atlantis off the northern coast or the Horn of Africa and want to raise it, or they want to bring back the city of Ur. To accomplish that, they're busy terraforming the atmosphere, creating a cyber physical backbone for the processing power needed and working hard underground to pop Pangea to deploy the Adam and Eve CIA plan to switch poles and reform the world. We, the people, are the wireless systems because they are routing data through us. We're the useless eaters that serve as their slaves, their cyber physical backbone, their playthings, and their food source. These controllers scoff at God and mock us for our faith. By tampering with God's DNA and coding in creation, they feel superior. Their satanic beliefs and systems are the motivations for the evil agenda of transhumanism. Bioconvergence to hybrid/cyborg creates and pillages of our bodies for data routing. They hate God and Jesus and are trying to block our Creator's frequency from reaching us. Essentially, everyone's been tampered with on a sliding scale from hybrids to free range humans who avoided what we don't talk about and try to eat cleanly. However, no one can avoid metal materials completely because their air is sprayed, etc. These controllers are tampering with God's creation, our DNA, and us by using steganography techniques with our DNA, editing out our genetics with CRISPR, and further manipulation with graphene and other metamaterials to prove their superiority over God. Such an abomination. How? See the timeline above to understand when we got this juncture. Testing done on elderly, poor, military, mentally disabled, as well as subjects of communist nations. Our nation history has been systematically hidden from us and perverted by them. For decades, you've been monitored wirelessly via 802.15.4 biosensors from at least two radio frequency sinks near your heart, the thoracic duct of your lymphatic system, and bladder cistern of your lymphatic system, which collects signals from five-star shaped nodes mapped over your circulatory system acupuncture meridians. Your digital twin is uploaded to the cloud and your neurons are watched in real time. These biosensors are made with your tissues, amino acids, peptides attached to nanotechnology transducers, which use your red blood cells and minerals to carry the electric signals to RF sinks. The RF sinks can act as a conduit to uncouple cells, dissociate fields, and calculate neurons meshed with the bands, etc. The system was deployed in the 1990s, and since there has been a huge rise in autoimmune diseases, using red blood cells depletes iron. Logging in and out of your body runs electrical signals in an unnatural manner through the unique and sensitive biofield, causing inflammation, heat changes, and pressure disruption that disrupts your immune system. About 80% in the biofield, and endocrine system about 40% in the biofield. Welcome to fibromyalgia, lupus, cancer, autism, autoimmune disorders, cancer, Morgellons, and a host of diseases as a byproduct of electronic warfare. Having trouble believing the Internet of Everything standards for 802.15 is targeting your biofield? It couldn't be any clearer than this graphic courtesy of the society. Look closely at the area around the human. The neuromodulation was developed and via black species special access projects with the assistant. Look the other way of the attitude of the medical community, sheriffs, police, lawfare proponents, military, paramilitary, and orchestrated by geospatial to Silicon Valley. Anyone in the electrical, HVAC, radio frequency, or user of Raspberry Pi, Coder, or Python all knew what was happening too. And NASA provided the computing power, especially the Jet Propulsion Lab. It's a system of surveillance and reconnaissance and total piezoelectric control because the powers that be have you mapped to the bone, marrow, and via biophotons. Look up the Internet of Behaviors, which encompasses bodies, things, industrial, and medical, using body area networks, 6 and GLOPAN, synthetic biology via graphing for starters at the cyber physical backbone. Your neurons are watched 6 days in advance and modified if necessary to their desired outcome. You're monitored and controlled via sensors, open architecture, and modular open systems approach using 6 globe. The back and forth communication interferes with your natural human biofield response. Military currently has a 5G linked drone swarm for an intel collection called Osiris per C4ISR, September 2022. When they want to bypass IP protocol, they also have ISIS, or intermediate system to intermediate system. There goes the hiccups again. I'm not stopping this time. The coders writing the apps for Zigbee and Bluetooth have been using K-hop routing based on heat, fenestration of the biofield, and active data collection built on carrier and collision waves. It's open shortest path first. In essence, your body's become a part of the computer networking model of open systems connectivity. How? Technically, we the people are now beacon enabled, swatted CSMN CA with collision avoidance. There's also non-beacon enabled mode called unslotted CSMA CA. It's wide open, off-the-shelf biohacking based on the neural networks, your neurons and your biophotons too. All this surveillance is controlled by ISR, L3, Harris, and Raytheon. Its applied signal technology is phase 2 of development called Hades, the god of war, or high accuracy detection exploitation system, which is a multi-domain sensing system. The system is globally deployable with longer ranges and higher altitudes than the capacity required. It's SOSA and MOSA per the Program Executive Office of Electronic Warfare. The system's causing repeated inflammatory responses and subsuming your immune system to uncouple, download, upload anything they want electromagnetically into your cells. Every time DARPA deploys a gradient wave, you suffer with pain. This is utter piezoelectric molecular control to bone marrow and wireless tissue engineering. This is autonomous and mapped via the telemetry of your biofield. This is built by taking away fundamental and ancient knowledge from our scientists like biofield, frequency, oscillation, somatics, optics, and radionics, and plasma from the us. Circulation of cerebral spinal fluid creates new biophotons every 30 days. Using technology described above, your biophotons are siphoned off. You initially act as a battery, constantly recharging your monthly as your biophotons get depleted. Battery, antenna, weapon, and wireless transmission station are some of the ways the controllers take full advantage of you with unfettered access you did not approve. Since the entire system runs off your DNA, it cannot be turned off. The action would turn you off as well. Speaking of fluid, researchers are now using liquid neural networks as AI algorithms that adapt to new data inputs. How's the data collected and used? Radiating the air from above or using either a drone or manipulating the ground below with CERN. Tokamak, MITRE, and neutrino waves, you're a part of an ambient cognitive C-band. Also, anyone taking SSRIs is routing data better than the unmedicated mind, hence the astronomical rise in pharmaceutical drugging for mood and emotional disorders. It's ubiquitous, persuasive computing. It's a closed neuronal loop. It's a synthetic biology, morphology, genetic engineering. It's transhumanism. How? Metamaterials is the answer. Metamaterials are substances not found in nature. For instance, graphene is created in a lime, one atom thick, considered 2D. It's been found in at least something we can't talk about. It can be introduced into human bodies via food, water, hydrogels, chemicals sprayed in the air. Once a 2D graphene metamaterial merges with a 3D human, the results can produce a 4D organism, hybrid or demon. According to Sabrina, the metamaterials are inscribed with the key of Solomon seals. There's another way the controllers could achieve the desired outcomes of hybrids/demons on this plane. The metamaterials have smart properties by the precise shape, geometry, size, orientation, and arrangement. Serena developed her biofield techniques of block, shock, shunt, and shield based on how metamaterials can manipulate or block, absorb, and enhance and bend electromagnetic waves. She is utilizing concurrence, amplitude, loss, and capacitance to counter an attack on the biofield. Metamaterials results in metal surfaces via a process of polarization steering, absorption, fission, or filtering of frequencies to create an altered phase, focus, or custom electromagnetic field outputs. The powers that be are finalizing brain imaging library via radio modulation, thermal dynamics, and biophoton manipulation. Or it's synthetic biology, genetic engineering, combinational synthesis employed via CRISPR, DNA encoded solid phase synthesis, nanotherapeutics, modified polynucleotides, cytotoxic agents, radioactive ions, Tesla-phoresis. They have you mapped, manipulated, and mind controlled in every way possible and sell it as regenerative medicine or life extensions. Optogenics appears to be the final frontier in the brain behavior control and modification. It's biophotonics, spectrography, optical coherence, optical array, all done through electronic warfare. Its biosensors are reflecting back like little mirrors or lenses through your body to be read, monitored, adjusted, and controlled with optics and light. There are even optical tweezers to affect somatics. They can manipulate you via LED lights in your car, work, or home. Obamacare created death panels designed to parse out care and determine whether you live or die based on a scoring system. It also linked genetic and medical data to nations worldwide for your health. AI will ultimately take over these decisions as they have everyone mapped out and connected. The powers that be want you fat, still, lazy, drugged, and obedient for their data processing needs. If you step out of line or don't follow the rules by gaming, partaking in digital entertainment, or using social media, you're in future danger of AI selecting you for elimination. Meanwhile, there are hybrids and super soldiers that have augmented themselves with metamaterials and soft robotics. They can also further augment themselves by using the Rydberg atom to access quantum databases and AI, rendering them enhanced and almost invisible. There is no longer free will if the controllers have you monitored constantly, because if you make a decision they do not approve of, they can log in and change your cell state, lock you in a feeder grid, smart city, use electrofog or smart dust to get their desired results, or bioelectromagnetically elicit a desired outcome. The controllers use chaos and changeable dynamics across the energy spectrum. Using random matrix theory math, they already know what you will do before you do it. They can use perturbation of your cells without using sound on fractals to vibrate you somatically. Your kill box expands to the next kill box, and so on and so on. A worldwide decision prison. It's a scalar functioning, controlling gravity and time. Nobody should have their lights or photons stolen. Nobody should have tasers sewn into their bodies, which can burn you from the inside out. Nobody should have their digestive system, hormones, immune system, circulation monitored for cytokines, inflammation response, thermodynamics, and the homeostasis of their body overridden to power and route data systems. I'm convinced I was hooked to this in 2015 when the police officer told me my vitals over the walkie talkie. As to the nurse, nobody should have a remote control to your neurons, behavior, and body. Finally, nobody should tamper with your connection to God and the beautiful product of His love which created you. Sadly, there's no safe way to end it without ending you. Here's some terms to know. 4D printing, known as 4D bioprinting, active origami shape morphing system, uses the same techniques as 3D printing through computer programmed disposition of material in successive layers to create a three-dimensional object. However, in 4D printing, the result with the 3D shape is able to morph into different forms in response to environmental stimulus. With the fourth dimension being time-dependent shape change after printing, it's therefore a type of programmable matter wherein the fabrication progress printed products reads within the parameters, changes form accordingly. All right, let's just go through just a few of these. And you can pause this and go through them yourself. I'm just going through a few of them. BCU, body control units. Somatics, vibrational phenomena using sound. Endogenous, originating inside the body. Feeder grid equals kill box. Green corridor, fiber optics, and other cables hardwired across the USA. HDAC, Homeland Defense and Security Information Analysis Center. ISTAR, Intelligence, Surveillance, Target Acquisitions, and Reconnaissance. JAIC, Joint Artificial Intelligence Center. JSTAR, Joint Surveillance and Target Attack Radar System. Project of Air Force Army. ISBE, Intermittent System to Biological Entity. Protocol routing straight to power source. Looking Glass, Airborne Surveillance via AWAC. MIMO, multi-input, multi-output. Morphology, a mechanical process involving forces that generate mechanical stress, strain, and movement of cells, and can be induced by genetic programs according to the spatial pattern of cells within tissues. The neutrino bomb, enhanced radiation weapon, is a low-yield thermonuclear weapon designed to maximize lethal neuronal radiation in the immediate vicinity of the blast while minimizing the physical power of the blast itself. NTS-3, navigation technology satellite. Optical tweezers, scientific instruments that use a laser beam to hold and move microscopic nanoparticles like standard tweezers. Planarians, worms with an extraordinary ability to regenerate lost body parts. Plasmoid, plasma emitted as a toroidal structure, a plasma magnetic entity. Rydberg atom serves as building blocks to novel quantum and photonic technologies because highly excited atoms, they possess unique characteristics that make them ideal for applications in quantum sensing, measurement, imaging, communications, computing, and scalar and security. Scalar waves. Tesla waves or longitudinal waves are capable of penetrating any solid object, including Faraday cage. SMART, anything SMART, stands for Surveillance, Monitoring, Analyzing, and Reporting Technology. Terahertz, wavefront manipulation, conception with focus and optimization leading to spatio-temporal confinement of terahertz energy and its physical limits to at least possible three-dimensional light bullet. Technology. Microsoft Azure, Subsum, Ingest, SQL Hive, JavaScript, Geomancer, Spellcaster, Cisco, Backplane, Vax, Prism, Solaris, organizations and companies. Lockheed Martin, McConnell Douglas, Raytheon, Silvus Technology, Israeli Military, Elbit Technology, IEEE, Professional Organization for Industry Standards for Electrical and Electrical Engineering, Allied Professionals for Computer Science. Synthetic Biology, DevCom, ARL, NP, Centronic. Okay, and here's some resources. Let's see, resources, online papers, and I'm going to stop right here for a minute, and then I'm fixing to So hopefully y'all can pause that and get some of them resources and study yourself. All right, I hope y'all got something out of this today. Sorry it was very, very deep, but I know most of y'all can understand it from all the research y'all have been doing. Um, uh, oh yeah, I plan to show. I've been going through a lot of evidence and stuff over last year's categorizing it, putting it where it needs to be. So I plan to show a little bit of it when I can show the stuff. I go to the ones that's without a doubt, no plausible deniability. I will show it. Anyway, God bless all TIs, and I hope y'all have the best weekend you can have. God bless.